Welcome, everybody, to the Quantum Healers Alliance Conference. This is our very first inaugural conference. We're going to be doing many more of these. My name is Arttemis. I'm here joined with Luke Scott III. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Luke.
Everybody, I am so excited to share with you. I think this is one of the best times ever to be alive. I call it the Great Awakening. It's like I'm connected to people all over the world and we can support each other in real time, energetically and physically. And wow, thank you all so much for being here. You are a huge part of this next wave of raising the consciousness on the earth, helping all our brothers and sisters wherever they are at in their journey right now. And if you do not yet know how special and important you are, please let me tell you that you being here today makes all the difference in the world because you are going to go and inspire so many people after this conference. And whatever part me and Artemis can play in that, guided in the highest possible way for the highest good of all. We're here to do that. We're being very brave, me and Artemis, with launching the Quantum Healers Alliance, and we appreciate all of you for allowing us and being a part of it. It's uh, it's going to
Yes.
be so amazing this next few years on the earth.
If you're watching this video right now, you know you have something big to do on our planet. If you're watching this video, you know you have a sense of purpose. You've been called to do something. You've been called to do something greater, but it scares the shit out of you. And you're also wondering, like, can I do this? Like, can I do it alone? It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with your team. So we're here to bring the Quantum Healers Alliance to all of us, to unite the healers, the quantum practitioners, the weirdos, the people into the woo stuff. But but there's so much science backing what we teach. But we also need unite our mothers, our fathers, our communities. And so we're going to be sharing with you some amazing content. Like I have been pregnant with this for 20 years. I have over 24 years of life experience. I've served over 40,000 people, and I've been pregnant with this. And so like it's birthing through us. And this is way bigger than Artemis or Luke. This is all of us coming together. So let's dive in. We're gonna have a slide deck presentation. We'll do some vision processes in the middle and some breakthrough processes. And then we're at the end of this conference, we're going to be sharing our vision of 144 quantum healing centers in 144 countries, uniting a language, a common language of quantum healing through quantum healing centers to birth our new healthcare system. And it starts with each of us, but then it comes through our vision of the quantum healing centers, bringing in sacred geometry, biogeometry, Vastu Shastra, permaculture, community design and feedback. Each center will be designed according to the land and the community and its needs and designs and structures. And we have a big vision for what we're doing here. And I hope you're excited. I hope you can feel the excitement of what we're creating here, because we're seeing a lot of blessings. And Luke, I just made you a co-host, so there you go. So let's dive in and do a quick screen share and go right into the presentation. So this is our first global conference for quantum healers and leaders in holistic health. Please type in the chat where you're coming from. And if you're watching this video on social media, comment below this video. If you're watching the replay, let us know where you're calling in from. We'd like to know where you are. We want to connect with you because you might be a future leader leading the quantum health movement in your community. And we're here to lead you and to lead the leaders and to ignite the leaders in our world. Part one is on the vision and the mission. Make sure to visit our free Facebook group. Type in Quantum Healers Alliance on Facebook, and you will see our free group there. We offer a lot of benefit in the group for our leaders, visionaries, our healers. You can receive free weekly classes, Meditation Mondays, Flow Fridays, and Social Sundays. In Meditation Mondays, we're going to be working on tapping the quantum field, accessing the quantum mind, getting into the emotion of the end result. I'm a master at repatterning the subconscious mind through conscious language, imagination activation. I have a gift for that kind of thing. So Luke and I will be leading some of the meditations on Mondays. Flow Fridays is my passion, is teaching you how to build a life and business you love. Inside your zone of genius, you can delegate your weaknesses and lean into your strengths. So at Flow Fridays, I'll be teaching wealth dynamics and how to build a team and flow around you, how to understand your superpower, how to harness that superpower. And so your vision, values, and mission align with your branding, your marketing, and automation. I have 12 years experience in marketing and automation. I run two businesses and have 5 people on my team. So I'll be teaching a lot of my ninja stuff with Wealth Dynamics on Flow Fridays. And then finally, we haven't launched Social Sundays yet, but it's in the works. And Luke, tell us about Social Sundays.
This is one of the most important things for me, and it's connection. Because my entrepreneurship journey has been a little bit lonely at times, is probably an understatement, especially feeling like in my local group, very much have been the outsider or the odd one out. And how do we bring real connection online? How do we get to know each other? Because every single one of you has a superpower. And when we utilize each other's superpowers, everything flows. And one of the challenges is we've been taught since school that we're separate. That separation consciousness was a big part of my life until I had my awakening, which happened in 2016. I got this experience of what I call unity consciousness, whatever you like to call that, real oneness. And I realized, wow, when we actually work together, everything is so much better because that's how we are supposed to play. So, yeah, social Sundays, loads of different ways we're going to do that. So you can feel in the best possible way that we're able to a part of a tribe. We can make this the best tribe, a thriving tribe, a community of like-minded, like-hearted people who all actually support each other. And imagine whatever you're doing right now, imagine you've got 10 people, let's just say 10, in the Quantum Healers Alliance who are your cheerleaders, who hype you up, share your stuff. It's going to go massive. And we have a vision to actually bring together 1 million quantum healers in this group. And there is another group that I know of that already has 1 million members. So we know it's possible to bring together 1 million of us. Now imagine a small percentage of those share your events, share what you're doing. Like we're going to expand and change the world so much quicker. So very excited about the social Sundays. And please do let us know if you have any ideas on how we can make the QHA even better. Like this is mine and Artemis's baby. We've been inspired to make it, but it's all of our group. So please do feel like you can contribute and we welcome all your ideas.
So our vision is we unite a global community of quantum healers while fostering a community of inspiration, support, and profound transformation. Our mission is to create a world where quantum and holistic healing are now embraced in all communities and are the mainstream healing tools used by healthcare professionals to heal and thrive at all levels of life in our body, mind, family, business, community, and soul. In our community, healers come to rejuvenate and restore themselves to wholeness, vitality, and grace, empowering us to serve our families and communities within our fullest potential. We elevate and inspire the quantum healing arts to manifest a life-giving healthcare system for now and future generations. You know what they say, go big or go home, right? Go big or go home. So Luke and I decided to go big with the Quantum Healers Alliance. And one thing about vision, and you guys are going to get clear, ladies and gentlemen, are going to get clear on your vision, is that it is better to be pulled by your vision than pushed by your problems. And we're going to be going a little bit more into why that is in today's conference. And we do have a plan for how we're going to achieve our vision. Stay tuned towards the end of this conference where we will share new systems of quantum healthcare systems, conscious entrepreneurship models. You know, I'm a leader in the conscious entrepreneur movement, have been for about 4 years here in Austin, Texas. And I do have a vision for how we will run business in the next 100 years. And leaders leading leaders. And what do we mean by quantum and holistic healing? So quantum means at the smallest observable particle. We are talking about the level of energy. We are looking at bridging physical healing with energetic healing so we can cure issues at their root cause instead of just treating symptoms at the surface. You know, as human beings, we exist at 5 dimensions of consciousness. We have a physical body, an emotional body, a memory body, a mental body, and a spiritual body. And all these bodies are connected at the quantum level. And we want to get to the root cause. We want to align all bodies as one expression of the divine creative force. In creating the
And
quantum, go ahead.
do let us know what your modalities are in the chat if you're watching this live or on the replay. What quantum tools are you accessing right now? What are your top modalities? What kind of miracles have you achieved in your or seen or been a part of in your practice? Because when we bridge that energy healing with the physical healing, we get the best of both worlds. Everything changes, and I'm super excited for us to make quantum healing the mainstream healing in our lifetime. So my children, I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, they'll grow up with quantum healing and holistic healing being the tools that the average doctor, the average nurse, the average hospital uses. And that might sound quite far away from where we are in the Western world, but in other parts of the world, that is how it already is. So it's just a case of bridging the gap
Yes.
and enlightening the people.
Yes, thank you so much for that, Luke. I have 2 kids as well, and all of my kids, we do breath work, we do qigong in the backyard. My kids attend the martial arts. I live in a healing center, with an apothecary, a botanical pharmacy, and ozone and saunas all around me. So it's a beautiful thing to usher in this new healthcare system. In creating the Quantum Healers Alliance, we asked ourselves the main question: who heals the healers? Have you thought about that? Where do you go for healing, to be nourished? That's what we are together at the Quantum Healers Alliance. Luke and I have a combined experience of over 3 decades of holistic medicine, and we're here to pour into you, and to give you the healing, the guidance, the support, the nourishment, because sometimes we don't do a very good job taking care of ourselves. How many get it? Sometimes we're always giving, 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 but where do we come to receive? So that's why.
This was how my whole life changed, Artemis. So I met a master quantum healer who came up to me and he showed me things in my life I didn't even know were challenges. And I worked with him for 3 months. We did 12 sessions in 12 weeks, and he made me cry like a baby. He broke me down. He helped me open my heart because I didn't even realize how closed I was. I was close to love, I was close to genuine connection. And even though I was a very powerful being and I was manifesting at a really high level, I had all of these issues to receiving love. I was great at giving. I had monetary challenges, like charging my worth. There's so many things. So wherever you're at in your journey right now, I believe there's always another level. And that's one of the things we want to help you with here to empower you, heal you, upgrade you so you can shine your absolute brightest.
Yeah, many of you know our healthcare system is broken and it needs a major reboot, big time. We are here to transform the healthcare system using quantum healing modalities at all levels of life and support our healers along the way. It's going to take all of us to do this. So, all hearts on deck. How many hear the call? Can you hear the call of humanity right now? All hearts on deck. It's not just you working one on one, it's some of you working one to many. And we're not here to bash Western medicine because many doctors are important and are here for critical care. So let us define the difference between critical care and quantum healthcare and regenerative medicine. These are important distinctions for our world as a unified language. So critical care is for acute symptoms, traumas, and accidents. The quantum healing arts and regenerative medicine is for all other conditions to regenerate body, mind, and soul. So if someone has a chronic degenerative disease that's rooted in a trauma, a memory, a past life, you don't go see a critical care doctor for that. But how many people don't know that? How many people are going to see critical care doctors, Western doctors, doing the best they know how with the tools they have available? And this is not about dividing our medical systems. This is about uniting our medical systems through awareness and discernment. One of my gifts is to teach you that. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah. And again, it's such an exciting time for me because anybody anywhere if they want to, can just go onto YouTube and find our channel and look up these things we're talking about. So I have a friend who's a medical doctor, and he realized quickly he didn't want to just keep giving people pharmaceuticals because he knew he had breathwork tools, he had healing tools, he had all different things, and he wasn't allowed in his job to share those. So he then came out of the medical system he was in, which is the NHS in the UK. That's our National Health Service, and he became a private doctor where he could actually help his clients. And this kind of people, there's so many, and especially in the last 4 years since everything that happened in 2020, more doctors than ever are questioning those ways that restrict them to only be able to give certain kinds of treatments. And in the UK now, you actually can get energy healing on the NHS. You can get Reiki on the NHS, which is phenomenal. And
Very
you can
cool.
even get forest bathing on the NHS. So, times are changing, everyone. Your doctor can prescribe you forest bathing in the UK right now.
I love it. If you have an acute symptom like a wound on your body, acute pain, car accident, or other trauma, you need to rush to see a Western doctor to patch you up. If you have a chronic degenerative disease, you need to learn how to regenerate your body through regenerative medicine. That's my expertise. I did it for 20 years in America at 3 clinics, or quantum nutrition or solar light therapy, and many other modalities that regenerate your body from the inside out. Every chronic degenerative disease is rooted in a hidden emotion, memory, or hurt. And you require seeing a quantum health practitioner to see and perceive the energetic cause and to clear the root symptom of that chronic condition through quantum medicine. Remember that the body heals itself. When you provide the right environment, the body will heal itself. So if the body is not regenerating, if you're not providing the right water, breath, movement, sunlight, and nutrition, and the body is still not healing, then there's an energetic block. The body heals itself. So our job as quantum healthcare practitioners is to help illuminate the mind as to the cause of that block, which is
Yeah,
profound.
it's very interesting, this conference, Artemis, because I know we're talking to very leading edge people here. So most of you have probably done other modalities. I've just seen someone say they've done 30 plus modalities, right? So I know some of this stuff you might have heard before, and hopefully that excites you because you know that we're on the same page. And I know a lot of you are already master healers, Reiki masters, hypnotherapy masters, all different kinds of wonderful skills that you have. So if this is getting you excited, let us know in the chat how
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
feeling about this. Are you
Now,
on board?
now, in addition to getting to root causes, a master quantum practitioner will also guide you to access your highest self at the quantum state, and through coherent emotion and deep feeling, teach you how to become the emotion of the end result, creating miracles in your life, family, and business. When we access our quantum self, our highest self, we actually walk backwards in time and we access quantum states of time. Both past, present, and future become one. And that's the language of miracles. A miracle in quantum healthcare is just a higher law in action. And so we are here to teach you those laws over time, how to access these higher laws and how to become a miracle making machine so that every session you expect the miracle. And if the miracle doesn't happen, come see me after class. I'll tell you why. All that you
Yeah, and
desire.
there's a law called Clark's law, Artemis, which is this idea that any sufficiently advanced technology looks like magic to people who don't understand it. And that's one of the things as well we're really looking to do is to share all of these thousands of of testimonials, thousands of accounts of people who've healed from everything you can imagine. Like we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just saying, hey, do you know what that disease that you've got, that issue that you've got, that challenge? Look, here's 100 people who've healed from it. And
Right.
now people go, wow, why did my doctor never tell me? Why did they tell me it was incurable? And it's because they don't understand the technologies at this energy level, this quantum level. So
Yeah.
super exciting.
And also remember that in the Taoist traditions of ancient China, my background is in the Tao Te Ching and the martial arts. I was a martial artist for 4 years. I've been a student of the Tao for 20 years. In the ancient Chinese traditions, I also bring Chinese medicine into business now through wealth dynamics and the 5 elements in business. They had a very profound saying that if the block is in the body, the correction is in the mind. But if the block is in the mind, the correction is in the body. So remember, the mind and body are one. So sometimes if all the modalities are not working, you need to take them into the body and teach them to master their body temple. And this is what I invested 24 years of my life studying and mastering. And it started with the martial arts. It started because all the greatest martial artists in ancient China were the most powerful healers. And so they had to heal themselves quickly to recover from battlefield. And I had to heal myself quickly to recover as well. It was a great time in my life. All that you desire and require at all levels of life exist in light. All that you desire and require at all levels of life exist in the quantum state of consciousness. Learning is remembering that truth today. How many can feel what I just said in your body? Raise your hand. Like these are powerful, powerful truths we're here to give you today. Achieving a quantum life is also connected to mastering the 5 elements of nature in harmony with the 7 key principles we will share with you today later in this conference. The QHA is dedicated to uniting over 1 million quantum practitioners, families, and community leaders. From seasoned experts to beginners, we are here building a diverse community while fostering an empowering environment for each one of you, all of our practitioners, to heal and thrive at all levels of life.
Yeah. And the idea for me is for us to come back to what one of my friends calls the ancient future. So we're coming back to the ways that our ancestors used to play before the allopathic medical system came in and changed everything. More of a tribal way. And the wise elders, the ones who have the wisdom, can help the beginners, the ones who are just learning. And there's a massive opportunity, everyone, for those of you who have this wisdom to put yourselves out there into the world, to stop being the world's best kept secret, to create your own courses or your own channels or whatever it is that helps people find you so you can share your wisdom with them. And that's one of Artemis's superpowers. He's going to share with you every Friday how you can create business flow, how you can get yourself out there. And when we do this together, it's going to work so well because someone might come to me and they might not be a perfect fit for me, but they might be a perfect fit for you, and I can just pass them to you, and vice versa. And when we all get to know what each other's skills are, it's going to be amazing. 1 million might sound like a big number if we're doing it alone, but when we're doing it together, it's going to happen so quickly. And when we start using all the quantum laws, the cosmic laws, all these different tools, how fast can we bring 1 million people together? It's going to be amazing. I'm excited to see. So please do share the QHA with your friends, invite them to our conferences, let them know about the trainings, the Mondays, the Fridays, the Sundays.
Yes.
If they are aligned with this, like-minded, like-hearted, just click the invite button, bring them in, and let's all thrive, like it says here, at all levels.
Yes. Yes. It's all hearts on deck, every one of us. At the QHA, we are here to elevate the quantum healing arts and regenerative medicine, creating a sustainable and thriving healthcare system for now and future generations. We also envision new systems of sovereign wealth, private membership associations, trusts, and foundations to organize all of our leaders and practitioners to work unimpeded by old, outdated systems. Yes, there are ways to exit the matrix and still make a ton of cash and be sovereign with your wealth. And we will introduce you to teachers, to leaders. One of my friends, Bradley, from the Private Wealth Advisors, has 2 degrees in law, and he teaches all about foundations, private membership associations, how to develop 508c1as, all these things that really help you become sovereign with your wealth. If you're watching this video right now, you know you are here to do something special on the planet. You feel called to do it. This calling comes from deep inside yourself. How many can feel the calling? As I give you these questions, like, you know you have a mission to do, a sacred calling, and can you feel it? Like, it's why we're here. It's why we come to these conferences. It's why we join the QHA. With like, there's this calling in our hearts to go heal, to awaken, to uplift, to raise consciousness. We feel you, and this is why we're here. This is why we created the Quantum Healers Alliance, to help answer this call in each of us. But maybe you've been wondering, when is everyone going to wake up? Maybe you've been wondering, when are our governments going to change? When are we finally going to reach critical mass? When is all the corruption going to end? When I came into this planet, I believed I was a stranger in a strange land. I was like, beam me up, Scotty. What am I doing on this planet? Why is everybody killing themselves? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm still wondering that. You know, I'm 40, I'm 46 years young, and I've served over 40,000 people, and I'm still wondering, I'm here to raise the consciousness of our earth. I'm here to unite the souls and lead the leaders so that all of us together can end the corruption, not by what we say, but by who we are. Not even by
And
what we do, by who we are, who we am.
yeah, and everyone, if you have been around a few decades, like Artemis, one of my great friends, they've been doing this work for 30 years, right? They really paved the way here for all of us, and huge respect to all the teachers that have been doing this, that have made it so much easier for me. I'm 8 years into this. I've helped hundreds of clients. Artemis has helped 40,000, right? He's like a whole different level of experience. So since 2020 and everything that happened, and there's been this rise of something called citizen journalism, where anyone now with a smartphone can start their own channel and start sharing stuff. And what that's meant is my friend believes that more people have become awakened, conscious, had an activation in the last 3 years than he's observed in the last 30 years. He said 30 years ago he couldn't talk to anyone about this stuff. And now we can hold a conference and people are like, yeah, I'm in. We don't even have to explain what quantum healing is because people get it. And what a change that has been in the last 3 years. And so now, if more and more people have awakened, it's kind of like popcorn. Do you see how popcorn works? There's like a heating point, and then bam, 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 everything starts popping. Like we're all popping now. Everyone's getting excited. So what will happen in the next 30 years now that all of this, or what will happen in the next 3 years, especially as more of us get brave to speak our truth. Podcasts now have changed the game. Like how many people listen to consciousness podcasts? Anyone can start their own TV channel with it, with just on YouTube or TikTok or any of these platforms. You can make one video on TikTok that gets seen by 1 million people. Like you can go viral overnight, and this has happened. Like there's a guy, he's just a builder, a construction worker in the UK. He made a video in his car on his phone. Millions of people saw it. You don't need a TV crew, you don't need anything right now. Heart trumps technique at almost every time. So if you're real and you have technique, that's just an even better combination. So we're going to teach you how to be your most authentic self, fully activated, and we'll teach you the techniques. And we're all just going to pop even more like popcorn. It's going to be so good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Luke. So we see a big problem in our world today that we know you can solve. As an alliance, we can solve it better together. And I realized, I've been in service for 20 years. I've served at 3 holistic medical clinics, and I've been able to touch a lot of people. But it wasn't until I had a midlife crisis, and I'll share that with you later in this conference. Every man goes through a period of his life. They call it the tunnel. It's the descent into darkness. I went through mine about 4 years ago after reaching the top of my career, and it changed me. And I realized that now, with my background in business development, wealth dynamics, real estate, land development, sovereign wealth, all the things that I picked up along the way after I retired as a healer, it's now for me to, it's now time for us to build a community so we can all do more together. There's only so much I could achieve by myself. And even working at the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center with Dr. Gabriel Cousins, where we reversed diabetes in 21 days, and seeing arthritis, cancer, diabetes, heart disease heal in a matter of months. And I was personally part of that, hundreds of times. Um, there's so much more we can do together. There's so much more, especially when we have a unified language, when we have an understanding of the laws of nature and the laws of the quantum realm, and we all speak the same language. In the journey of transforming our world, we get to transform our vision. And then we take aligned action. The paradox of transformation is that you have to do the real work by yourself, but you can't do it all alone. How many get that? As quantum healers, we are guides, we are signposts, but ultimately we are here to illumine the mind because every soul is the author of their life. And sometimes we author things unconsciously. And so we get to do that real work by ourselves, but we need a guide. We need someone who can point the way to show us the subtle bodies, to show us the language of energy, to bring these quantum medical modalities into our lives so we can get to the real work. How many know the real work is inside?
Yeah. And there's times, isn't there, Artemis, where you need to go into your cave, into your creation cave, and dig deep into your own well of goodness and see what wants to come through. And then there's times to come and share that with people. And
Mhm.
this is where a lot of my clients get really frustrated, because they have the best thing, like they have the perfect medicine, but they don't know how to share it with people. Or no one seems to want to come to their events or their workshops or buy their courses. And then they get frustrated and they make it mean something about themselves. But if we lived in a tribe, I always come back to tribe. If we were 100 of us or 150 of us and we lived together and you were the best baker in the tribe, people would know about you. They would come. If you're the best healer, people would know about you. They would come. And it's quite alien, this system we have now where everybody's so separate and lives in their houses by themselves and we don't know what each other do. And most people in the UK, we don't even talk to our neighbors. We have no idea what their magic is or what their medicine is. And so how do we come back to that? Because it's so much more fun when you do it together, is my
Yes.
truth. And that's one of the big things. Can we bring more fun into your life? Who would like that? Let me know. Put a big yes in the chat if you would like more fun, more joy, more connection, like
Yes.
real deep intimacy. That's one of the things we would love for you to bring. I give you your fullest permission if you ever need that. Some people do, to shine your brightest in the Quantum Healers Alliance. Like, don't feel like you have to hold anything back. We want to see the shiniest you, the most amazing you. We want to hear all your wonderful, weird quirks and what you actually think. And hopefully, we can create a safe space where we can all share from that place because that is leading edge. That's where we all grow.
Yes, yes. And we're going to be providing 7 key dimensions of life for you to transform and for you to achieve your soul's fullest expression. But there's a problem out there that we see all over the world. We see our doctors, practitioners, healers, mothers, fathers overwhelmed with so much to do, lacking the right mentorship, personal healing, and support systems. So many people are doing the right things in the wrong order. You know, there's only one worse thing than going in the wrong direction, and that's going in the wrong direction enthusiastically. Many of our practitioners are chasing, trapped in the hustle culture. And they've even formed new subconscious identities around that hustle because of social media. And they don't even know they're living in a hustle, and it's become their new normal. Wealth dynamics is the way out of that. Many of our master healers and practitioners have trouble asking for help, not knowing where their blind spots are. Many of them are confusing activity with accomplishment, stuck on a perpetual rebounder. Raise your hand if you're an amazing giver. How many love to give? Yeah, I do too. I love giving. How many of you are an amazing receiver? How many of you receive well? How many of you are allowing people to help you by understanding where your blind spots are and asking for help for them? How many of you are asking for help weekly, daily, looking for the right mentors to grow to your next level? We see many healers, coaches, practitioners with some of the greatest gifts in the world of holistic health, struggling with finances, struggling on how to stand out and unsure of how to grow to the next level. Some of you watching this right now and on the replay might be secretly dealing with the chronic health challenge that you have yet to fully heal, and it's time to become well. Some of you may be afraid to say that. Some of you may feel like you're an imposter because your health challenge is not fully healed. And now it's time to become well. Some of our leaders in the healing arts have even built this long ladder of success and have finally reached the top, only to discover that they put the ladder on the wrong wall because they were chasing a dream that was someone else's and not even their own. How many see that out there in the world today, where leaders get to the top and they burn out And then they find, after burnout, making millions of dollars because they were dreaming someone else's dream, they finally started finding their own passions and doing what they love. That was me 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I started the path. 24 years ago, I started this path of holistic health. And I worked in a clinic of Chinese medicine with an Oriental medical doctor where I learned the 5 elements. I learned pulse and tongue diagnosis. I learned the language of energy. I learned all the meridians. I learned how the meridians were connected to the chakras and how the chakras are connected to the subtle bodies. Now the subtle bodies was connected to the solar system and the universe. And I was in real time learning the interconnectedness of all life through the Taoist tradition, the ancient Taoist masters. And then I studied muscle response testing. I learned applied kinesiology from Dr. David Hoover. And I started doing tens of thousands of muscle response testing, where I was testing nutritional and then emotional and then mental and then past life, all through I realized that our body is a finely tuned instrument of God and that we can access everything through muscle response testing. Read Power versus Force from Dr. David Hawkins, and you can learn about how he discovered the levels of consciousness through kinesiology. And yet this whole time, as I was going from modality to modality, clinic to clinic, I was always trying to prove myself. I was always trying to prove that I knew what to do. I didn't feel good enough. I felt not good enough. And I was trapped in this rescuer, victim, villain triangle, unbeknownst to myself. I was always out there rescuing people and saving people. And I got really, really good at it. I got really good at rescuing people. People sought me out because I was so good at what I did. I then learned conscious language, sacred body language, biooptic holography. I learned iridology. I got trained by Dr. Robert Morris and became a certified detoxification specialist, mastered all 5 systems of detoxification on all levels, mind, body, emotion, and soul. I learned all the maps. I learned everything. And then when I got to the top of my game, I got sick and tired of working with people who were sick and tired. And I stopped for 4 years because I wasn't asking myself the right questions. I was that person who put that ladder on the wrong wall and climbed up to the top. I realized this isn't what I'm here to do. I'm here to ignite and activate your genius and here to lead the leaders. The angels of the air, the Holy Spirit, they were telling me for 10 years into my profession, you're here to lead the leaders, go and lead. But I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel good enough. So I just kept rescuing people over and over and over again. How many of this is resonating with you? How many of you see this in some of yourself? So in 2019, I met a man named Roger Hamilton in Austin, Texas. And Roger's an amazing man. He's the creator of Wealth Dynamics. Roger leads Genius University, an online platform where over 5 million entrepreneurs come together to work together as entrepreneurs. And Roger came to Austin in 2019. And this is the kind of man you meet that can change the trajectory of your life. When he came into Austin and he got in the room and he was teaching Chinese medicine, business, conscious entrepreneurship, ikigai, the future of businesses. He was like Richard Branson, Einstein, Beethoven, and Elon Musk, all in one person. Can you imagine all that genius? And that's Roger Hamilton. And he almost floated on the stage. People would get on stage, he'd ask them 2 questions about their business, and they would start crying. He could just see through people. He's one of those very unique individuals on the planet that when you get to meet them in person, they're a standing wave. How many have met people like that, where they're just a standing wave of activation? And so Roger was that person for me. And as I'm sitting in the audience, I felt like I was in such a dark place at the time. I retired. I stopped doing everything I was doing. My whole community thought I was crazy. Like, Arttemis, you're amazing. You're one of these gifted people in our community doing what you're doing. Why did you stop? And I was like, I can't do it anymore. This is not me. And yet everything has a purpose under heaven. So everything I've experienced has led me up to this day to be here with you. And I'm looking on stage at Roger Hamilton, and I could feel like this energy in my spine. I could feel the truth of my calling. It was like an electric shock. And I was like on the edge of my seat watching this man. And I was surrounded in the room by 120 of my best friends in Austin, because I'm a leader in the Austin community in this conscious entrepreneur movement. And I invited 30 of my best leaders to come see this guy teach, and I began to understand my zone of genius. I began to understand what my superpower was in wealth dynamics, which you'll get later on in our Facebook group and later on. We won't go too deep into it today, but as I started to understand my zone of genius, as I started to wake up into who I am and how God made me, I started getting connected to my purpose. And my purpose wasn't to heal and save the planet. It was to awaken the planet to wholeness, to infinite potential, to your nature, to understanding who you are as God made you, not as these things brainwash us to be. Self-awareness is self-mastery. Self-mastery is self-expression. This is the brand triad: personal brand, product brand, company brand. And we're moving from the age of information to the age of insight. It's not enough to know what or how anymore. Now we need to know, who am I? And then translate our vision, our values, our genius into our branding, our marketing, and automation. You are unique. And when I started understanding my zone of genius, I literally took like a 90-day sabbatical. My wife was looking at me thinking, what are you doing? We've got food to put on the table. You can't take 90 days off. And I was like, I just need to stop chasing shiny objects and study myself. And so I went deep into wealth dynamics. I became a certified performance consultant. And then I launched a real estate business. I just went completely out in left field. I launched a real estate business, generated over 1,200 leads in 12 months using wealth dynamics. I was the star. I had a deal maker, a lord. I built websites. Then 2 years later, I launched a YouTube channel. Now I've got 5 people on my team. We generate 2 professional videos a week. We generate 10,000 organic views. I do luxury listings, land development, and I heal the land. I bring health into homes and into Vastu and into communities now. So everything is an evolution. But I had to stop. I had to, sometimes you have to slow down before you can speed up. And some of us are moving way too fast because you don't know yourself. Not really. Not yet, anyway. When you begin to come to know yourself, your zone of genius, when you understand how you are made, what brings you joy and flow, and then you connect that genius, your talents, to your vision. And then you connect the vision and talents to your purpose. And then you learn skills. You'll go so much farther as a quantum healer. How many get it? But how many of us are learning skills that aren't matched to what we really are? Or how many of us might be living through others, trying to rescue and save the planet? Nobody needs to be saved. And there's nothing to rescue. There's only joy and flow and creativity and doing what you love. If you love quantum health, you're in the virtue of transformation. If you love healing, you're in the virtue of transformation. You love transformation. The healing is just a vehicle of transformation. If you love helping people understand the laws of quantum physics, you love teaching. It's not about waking people up. You just love to teach. You see the difference?
We've got an amazing question in the chat here, Artemis.
Yeah.
Someone's saying they feel like they're in that phase right now of slowing down, and other people are telling them to stop procrastinating. And don't people love giving each other advice? But they're just going to tell you what works for them, and they probably have a totally different genius to you. So I worked in a $2 billion company as a sales trainer and sales manager, and then became a sales director for an international software company. And everybody in the team has different skills. So if you're listening to advice from someone who's not you and they don't know about how individual your journey is, they're probably going to give you advice that's great for them, but it's probably terrible for you. Like the chances that the advice that works for them is exactly what you need is very small. So I love, Artemis, that you have this similar to myself. You bring the business wisdom, that very, beautiful masculine driven energy, bring the spiritual, the soft, feminine, conscious connectedness, bring it back to the body, grounded as well, everyone. Let me know if you struggle sometimes with having your head in the clouds a lot. So we bring you back into the earth so we can use the physical and the heavens, right? Both of those. And yeah, amazing. So excited. So thank you for that question. Please do ask any questions in the chat. If you're watching the replay, you can ask questions in the comments and we'll come back to them afterwards as well.
So enough is enough. We don't want to see this happening to our peers anymore. So we've chosen to create the QHA to be the change and rebuild our healthcare system and pour into all of our practitioners. We're here to pour into you through the Quantum Healers Alliance. Many of us are craving the right support network and the right tribe of people who can cover our backs. To stand together with a new healthcare system, to have a unified language and skill set, and access to trainings and fellowship where we can all thrive together. It's time to build a world where hospitals become quantum healing centers, prisons become mental and emotional healing centers, colleges become genius schools of creativity where we can all learn to activate our natural genius and talents and do what
Artemis, can we come back to that this slide needs a bit more attention, I think. That, like, if everyone can envision a world where hospitals become quantum healing centers, like your local hospitals are now quantum healing centers. Like that's the mainstream. Instead of sending people to prisons, they go to mental and emotional healing centers. It's a flick of a pen for someone who is in charge of the prison system to start bringing this stuff in. This is very possible in the next years, definitely decades. And colleges become genius schools where you learn about your natural genius, your talents, instead of just learning mindless facts. That now we can just access on our phone. It's almost irrelevant, the stuff we used to have to learn in textbooks. Imagine how the world would shift if every school was a genius school.
We are here creating a Quantum Life Academy that works for all healers, families, and their communities to heal and thrive at all levels of life through 7 key quantum life principles that we'll share with you. And by the way, this beautiful architecture you're seeing here is designed by my friend Michael Rice from Zem Designs. I've known Michael for about 20 years. And Michael is a visionary bioarchitect. He actually created a whole new language of architecture using sacred geometry. And he's the most embodied sacred geometry architect on the planet. And his structures do exist all over the world. It's just you got to meet people like us sometimes to see that they're possible. The 7 key principles of the Quantum Life Academy are vision, creativity, genius and talents, quantum health and vitality, skills, wealth, tribe and community. Quantum life principle number 1 is vision. To have more, you need to become more and align with a clear 10-year vision. It is better to be pulled by your vision instead of pushed by your problems. How many know that to be true? And yet you are wired to survive in the central nervous system, and thriving is a choice. So without a clear understanding of vision that's aligned with your talents, your purpose, and your skills, you will go completely off course, and you'll be like me climbing that wall and getting to the top. We don't want that to happen to you. So we want you to understand this first principle first in the conference today, and why it's important to get clear on your vision. Someone without a clear vision for their future will often return to their past. To rewire yourself optimally, you must have a clear and compelling vision for your end result and lean into it in incremental steps. Like in the book Atomic Habits, he talks about falling in love with the 1%, but you also want to be pulled by the vision. Fall in love with the process and be pulled by the vision. Make sure your project's dynamo energy is connected to processes, tempo energy, to give you lift, and make sure it's aligned with the vision. This is true freedom. So let's talk about the importance of vision and making it part of you and understanding your neocortex. So We've come a long way in neuroscience, understanding human brain, neurophysiology, and there's a lot of really good stuff. But back in the 40s and 50s, they separated the brain into three parts. And it was called the triune brain. So you have your reptilian brain, which is the medulla. You have your hypothalamus, which is the seat of memory and emotion. And then you have your neocortex, which is the frontal lobe. And so when you look at the four vertebrates on the planet, you have carnivores, you have omnivores, you have herbivores, and you have frugivores. And what makes the carnivores, omnivores, and herbivores different than the frugivores, which is the Homo sapien and the monkeys and apes, is our brain. We have a different brain structure. We have a slightly different central nervous system. And apes and monkeys and dolphins and humans can cry. Have you thought about that? Like, we cry, we shed tears when we feel. All other parts of the animal species, they'll cry when they're hurt, but they don't cry voluntarily. We can cry. We have a hypothalamus, a limbic brain that's more developed. So that limbic brain, that hypothalamus, is the seat of memory and emotion. But what makes apes and monkeys different than humans? Our neocortex. It's the shining, part of the Homo sapien that makes us different. The neocortex of a Homo sapien is 3 times larger than apes and monkeys. And what is the function of the neocortex? It is to visualize images. It is to imagine. It is to dream things up that have never been dreamed before. It is to see pictures and to visualize. It forms language and words. So when you have a vision and it's clearly aligned with your talents and your genius, and you learn to embody that vision through repetition, rhythm, and deep feeling, and it's aligned with your soul because it's aligned with your talents, it's aligned with your purpose. Now you start to live from the neocortex. John Assaraf, the founder of Neurogerm, he would say, let your neocortex be the CEO of your life. Not the hustle, not the grind, not the got to, have to, must, got to get up, got to post content, got to pay my bills, got to, have to, must. That's reptilian brain. Got to, have to, must, got to, have to, must, got to, have to, must. Compulsion. Many of us, because of social media and the dopamine addiction of our smartphones, without a rewiring of our neocortex, without an understanding of our genius, we're living in survival, and it's become our new normal. So Quantum Life Academy principle number 1 is vision. You need to understand your vision, and especially the other quantum life principles, so that you can get into flow, so that you can start creating what you want to create for your life, your family, your community, and your business. And it's grounded in neuroscience. It's grounded in the function of the human neurophysiology of letting your neocortex become the CEO of your life. It's better to be pulled by your vision than pushed by your problems. If you're just putting out fires every day, which many of us are as business owners, as quantum healers, there's nothing wrong with solving a problem. If the house is burning down, put out the fire. But if you live in a problem orientation without the quantum life method, if you live in that problem orientation for too long, you get trapped in this consciousness of problem solving. And the consciousness that created a problem, when it solves it, what does it do? Creates another problem to solve. And we get caught in this survival pattern, So vision is what breaks us free of that. And then talents, and then creativity, and then all the other things that Luke and I are going to bring you in the QHA. And Luke, what would you like to share about vision?
This is one of my superpowers, according to Wealth Dynamics, which is the system behind Artemis, you can see. So I'm what's called a creator genius, a dynamo genius, and it's innate for me to have these visions of the future. And one of the challenges for me is to be more in the present because I can see how the world can be. Like it's so clear to me how we can reshape this medical system, the education system, the food system, like all of it. And now it's a case of people like Artemis, who's been so helpful to me to bring me into the now. So I can help you all. And it's my absolute joy to do this because it changes people's lives when you give them a vision of what is possible for them in their future. So I'm going to take you through a process a little later, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Like right now, and it will change your life if you're open to it. So get yourself excited for that. Um, it will be whatever is in your highest good. That's my truth. You get shown what is in your highest good. And that's how I work. And I work with people from every faith, every background, every modality, like whatever it is. What I teach is founded in quantum physics principles. And this is why I think it is universal and why it touches so many people, because you don't need to believe anything to see this vision process that we're going to do. So I'm totally with Artemis in what he's saying. And most of us don't get taught how to tap into our vision because we wouldn't then be very good obedient workers. And I'm not going to go too deep into conspiracy theories and stuff, but you probably know that the school system that we have was founded around 400 years ago to make you into an obedient factory worker and figure out which factory you should go into. And in the last 400 years, it's not really changed. Is that by some kind of design? Does someone on the planet or some people want us to be empowered and full of vision and like changing the world, or would that be inconvenient to them? So I'm here to be a brave, courageous visionary, and that's what I believe all of you are. You are visionaries, and visionaries also need supporters. And this is how do you get supporters? You have to share your vision, which is one of the reasons we're hosting this conference. And thank you all for listening to us and indulging us. Hopefully, this is getting you excited. So, yeah, we're going to tap into your vision really soon, and we'll teach you how to share it, and we'll teach you how to build the business, and you're going to absolutely thrive.
Absolutely, yeah. So next in the presentation, when you have subconsciously aligned with your vision, you live within a new central nervous system powered by your neocortex instead of living unconsciously from your reptilian brain. The left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, the neocortex becomes one mind connected to the heart and soul, and you're pulled by it. Your vision then becomes the dominant and driving force leading your life and all choices you make. You know, what got you here won't get you there, they say. And sometimes what you say no to in the next year with us, as you join the Quantum Healers Alliance, as you learn these principles that we're teaching you, what you say no to is what gets you there. But that's counterintuitive when you're living in survival, when you're chasing shiny objects, or when you've said yes to too many things, or when you've been burned. I've been there. I've been burned. I've wasted money on business development because the teachers didn't know my zone of genius. It wasn't until 20 years later when I met Roger Hamilton that I finally realized, oh, there's a map. God gave us a map. It's called the I Ching. It's been around for 5,000 years. Roger translated it for us as healers to go do what we love and delegate our weaknesses. It's like, there's a map. Don't worry, there's a map. It's essential that your vision align with your natural talents and zone of genius as taught in wealth dynamics, or you'll be climbing up the wrong mountain. Understanding your genius and talents is quantum life principle number 3. So let's go through a process with Luke to get clear on your vision first. Go for it, Luke.
Yes, it'd be my absolute pleasure. And I love what you said, Artemis. 12 months from now, what can be possible? If you align with your gifts and talents and skills. And I just got a message today from one of my students, and she said, I thought there was something wrong with me my whole life. And now I realize my brain just works differently to other people's. And like it took me for some reason, it took someone else to show her that everything that made her an outsider in the old world now makes her a leader in the new world. Have you heard that one before? I imagine every gifted child in school is taught, hey, do you know your superpower is actually that you are different because you're going to create a whole new world. How cool is that? Instead of growing up thinking there's something wrong with you because you're not good at sitting still in a classroom. And so it's really a fascinating time. This process is it's very simple. You don't need to believe anything. Give it a try. Be open to it and see what comes through. I always say that we're just playing with energy. So there's no good or bad or right or wrong. Whatever you see, whatever you don't see, be inspired by it or choose not to. My intention always when I do these processes is that you get everything that's in your highest good and in the highest good of all. If you would like to take part in this, all you need to do is take a nice deep breath into the belly and out. And just feel what it feels like to be in your body. If you would rather not take part in this, that is totally a choice as well. Everything is an invitation. You can just skip forwards to after the process, and you could come back to this at a later time if that felt right for you. You might be in a space now to drop in, or you might not be in the perfect space to drop in. Like, please do always be aware of where you are at in terms of your life, in terms of your environment. Opening ourselves up in this quantum way is something to be done with great reverence and respect. I teach a modality called Curate, which is quantum regression and integration therapy. It's a mixture of energy healing and quantum hypnosis, and it's so fast. And you learn it in just 12 hours, and then you can change someone's life. The process takes like 30 minutes or 60 minutes. I'm going to do a process with you now in about 10 minutes that will change your whole life. This is what we teach in our advanced course. You'll find out a lot more about Curate if you want to come and learn it as we progress in the Quantum Healers Alliance. And let me give you a taste of what's possible. So we're going to access your vision by tuning into I call it the realm of infinite possibilities that exists in the quantum field. If any of you don't know what the quantum field is, so this is just physics, quantum mechanics, this isn't anything spiritual. Every particle in the cosmos is connected to every other particle by this principle of quantum entanglement. Some people call it a web, some people call it a field. And time doesn't really exist in the way that we have been taught it does when you start playing in the quantum realm. So there's one moment, there's now, and everything happens in now. And this gets really fun when you start to play with this idea that when you're really present, you can choose to tune into what might be happening in a different place. You could call it the future or the past, but that's not really the truth because that's linear time. So you can tune into an actual quantum version of yourself and be inspired by them, be guided by them. All you need to do, get nice and comfy. If you feel comfortable to, and if you're not driving or anything, you can close down the eyes. When our eyes are closed, we get less distractions. And you can feel the weight of your body on the floor or the chair, wherever you are. And take a deep breath into the belly, an abdominal breath. So breathe into the belly. So when you breathe in, your belly should go out. And when you breathe out, your belly should go back in. And when you breathe this way, just observe that on the out breath, you get this moment. I call it the no-thingness. It's a moment of peace. See if you can feel that. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And that moment of peace is one of the fastest ways to access this quantum field. When I was trained in hypnosis, 3-hour long hypnosis sessions with massive scripts, my teacher told me you don't actually need to take them down a staircase or anything. You can get them into state in a moment. You see stage hypnotists do this. One moment. So if you just come, take a deep breath in and out, it gets you into a brainwave state where you can tune in. Very receptive. And in this place, you can start to rewire your brain, rewire your nervous system. We talk and teach a lot more about this in the Curate course, but see, for today, I'm just giving you the basic understanding. So if you're ready and excited to see a future vision, a potential future vision, if you like that word, future, a possibility, take a deep breath into the belly and out, and ask to be shown the grandest version of the greatest vision of what is possible for our healthcare system in this lifetime. Ask to be shown the grandest version of the greatest vision of what is possible for our healthcare system in this lifetime, and just see what comes through. You might see it really clearly, like a movie. It might be a knowingness or a feeling. Everyone has different ways they receive information. What is the highest, greatest possibility for our healthcare system? And allow yourself to play with that. What do the hospitals look like? Does the education look like? What is a consultation with a doctor like? What do we teach our children about health? How quickly can people heal from diseases, illnesses? What diseases do we now know how to cure in this vision using quantum healing and holistic healing? And if this feels exciting and aligned, if this is a vision you would love to bring into your now moment, you can say a big yes to the cosmos. Imagine you're putting it into a GPS system, into a map. You can plug that in. We call it your quantum GPS system and cure it. Plug that in and say, Cosmos, align me with this timeline. And it will give you a route. It will bring you the teachers and the resources and the skills and the people and all of the things that you need so that you can become that, so that can become your truth.
I can't answer it.
And when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and out and come back fully into your body. And I'm going to ask you one more question specifically for yourself this time. So this time, ask to be shown the grandest version of the greatest vision of what is possible for you in this lifetime. What is the grandest version of the greatest vision of what is possible for you in this lifetime as a healer, visionary? See what is possible. Again, it might be like a movie or a knowingness. However you perceive it is perfect for you. How does that version of you look? How do they feel? What do they do? What do they speak about? How do they help people? How do they heal people? You could even ask to see, is there a tool? Is there a modality? Is there a way that they know that is different? You could bring that wisdom, reminding yourself of what is possible. You could ask if there's any guidance here for you from this version of you that's already done it in the quantum. And again, if this is a vision you would love to align with, you can just say a big yes to the cosmos, plug that into your quantum GPS system. And the more you feel this feeling, the faster you will make that into your reality. So you can bring this in your meditations, bring this in multiple times throughout the day, journal around this, play with this, make this seamless transition where you can step into this version of you being your default. Maybe you just breathe in that energy into your cells, into your body, activating you at that DNA level, awakening any parts of you that are ready to be awakened. Maybe you can feel in your body, your hands vibrating, your head, your brain, your energy centers. breathing, breathing, softening, relaxing, and allowing all of that goodness to integrate into your energy field in the perfect way so that you can have the most incredible next chapter in your life, in your journey. When you're ready, thanking whoever or whatever you believe in for this experience, thanking yourself for showing up here, watching this, being in awe of this version of you that's even able to receive this stuff. 10 years ago, me would not have even been able to come to a conference like this. Like, what percentage of people can even hold this right now? And we are going to activate and awaken so many people in the coming years. Think about the role that you can play in that if you have the right system and the right support and the right training. I'm so excited for you. Coming back, feeling grounded, connected, excited, and energized. When you're ready, you can have a stretch, wiggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes. And if you feel to, please don't overshare, but if you feel to, let us know in the chat, in the comments, what came through for you. And this was just a little flavor. This was a 10-minute mini curate session. If any of you would love to go deeper, I have an absolutely free curate session that you can all get access to. I'll pop the link in the chat for you. It is about 1 hour long. I take you on a deep, deep journey, quantum regression. So we go to the root of whatever is happening in your life. We change it at that root level. You can use this to solve the biggest problem in your life in 60 minutes. If that sounds exciting, it's my gift to all of you for being a part of this. And please do keep connecting to that version of you that's already done these things in the quantum. Like, bring that forward. This is how we can accelerate things. Some people call it how we can shift timelines or quantum leap into other timelines. I call it aligning with other timelines, aligning with whichever version of that infinite realm of possibilities you feel most excited about. Because when you're excited, you move mountains. And hopefully you're feeling fired up after that.
Awesome, Luke. Thank you so much for that. That was incredible. That was a little taste of meditation Mondays too. I think we should do that next Monday. That same whatever you just did, do that again next Monday. That was really powerful. I could see that on a recording for our tribe too. Some nice music in the background. How was that for everybody? Type in the chat or unmute yourself. What did you see? What did you experience? What new feelings and sensations did you have in your body? Because that's the power of the emotion of the end result is all about feeling it and having it now. The feeling is the secret.
And the power when we meditate together, when a group of people come together and meditate, incredible things happen. If you have not seen the research, when they get 1,000 people together in a city and they meditate, and the crime rate drops in those cities, and we have 1 million healers in the QHA, and we're all meditating together every Monday. Like, that is a phenomenal thing we're going to be doing. And so, yeah, put it in your diaries. Meditation Mondays, flow Fridays, social Sundays. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, let's move on. If you guys need to take a bathroom break, feel free to go ahead and do it in the middle of our presentation. We'll post the replay for later. We're going to continue sharing some of the quantum life principles. So it's also important to understand that as you step into a leadership position, how many are leaders in this call today? How many lead their family, lead clients, want to get a bigger message out there in the world? That leadership has a double-edged sword, that there's a light side and a dark side to leadership. And not many people talk about the dark side. But one of my great teachers, Royal, said that when you learn to touch your darkness, you can emit more light. And a lot of us in this quantum healing community, we're out there chasing the light, but we're not looking at the darkness of leadership. And it's important to understand that pain is a part of growth. And there's a role for pain in growth. That why do we self-sabotage our growth? When God is calling us to do greater things as a quantum healer, as a leader in our community, and we drift, we start scrolling on Facebook, we start binge watching Netflix, we don't create that product, we don't invest money in ourselves. What we're really doing is we're running away from pain. When we feel the call of leadership, why do we stall, self-sabotage, delay? It's because it's painful. Because growth is uncomfortable. And to grow, we must all face and transform the pain of growth consciously. How many get that? Like if you've been stalling or if you're in a drift, these are all archetypes of leadership. Like there's something called the drift, the tunnel, sedation, a pain, where we just like, we don't want to do it. We don't want to take that call that compels the answer. So we just sedate with, and we live in a world of sedation right now. And you might believe in the powers that be and conspiracy theories have designed that for us. But for those of you watching this right now, you're called to do something big. You can feel it in your soul. You're here to lead a healthcare revolution. And it's also going to require that you get comfortable with pain. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. And learn how to deal with these things, such as the pain of public speaking, which is the fear of rejection, the pain of being rejected, the pain of taking risks that don't pay off, the pain of failure, failing forward fast 1,000 times over, the pain of being seen and criticized by others. All of these affect the ego, but not the soul. Remember, you are a soul with a mind. You are not a mind with a soul. So a lot of us, we think that we are our self-conscious mind. We live inside the mind. But the mind is a tool of the soul to create. But many of us, we get trapped in the mind in our creative process, and we think that we have to prove ourselves. We have to be seen. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not significant. There are 6 core wounds of the subconscious mind that we have to neutralize and step into our vision, our talents, and our purpose. And we'll teach you all this later on in the Quantum Life Academy. But it's important to understand as leaders watching this right now that pain is a part of growth and that leadership has a dark side. That you're going to learn how to turn this pain into fuel. When we have a clear,
This was
go ahead.
This was a big part of my journey, Artemis. So I ran a public speaking academy, everyone, for 3 years, and I helped hundreds of people overcome their fear of speaking and turn their story into something that is actually empowering instead of disempowering. And that was my truth. I used to shake and sweat. I was a terrible public speaker. I can show you the video of one of my first ever talks. It was miserable. And I had to learn. I got a mentor for 12 months. I committed to it and I showed up. I made so many videos and now I can flow. And this is one of the things that flow comes once you learn the structure. That learning the structure part is uncomfortable. Your first few salsa dancing lessons, you're probably not a great salsa dancer, but then after a while, you don't have to think about it anymore. And that's kind of where we all need to overcome. They say the master has failed more times than the beginner's even tried.
Yeah.
And so, even if you are a master healer, maybe you're a beginner at public speaking or a beginner at business. So that's where we can all plug the gaps for each other.
For sure, for sure. When we have a clear understanding of our vision, talents, purpose, and skills, we will face the pain of growth more easily. Self-awareness is self-mastery. It's going to hurt, ladies and gentlemen, but it doesn't have to hurt forever. And you don't have to freeze, sedate, and drift. You can actually rise up and listen to the calling of your heart, because that's God calling you to rise, to lead. You will also learn how to turn pain into fuel through fitness and flow, as taught here in the Quantum Healers Alliance. There is a secret in the alchemy of leadership. The more you touch your darkness, the more light you can transmit. How many know that to be true? But are they talking about this in the churches? No. They're teaching you to chase the light. But the real people out there doing God's work, they're wise as a serpent and loving as a dove. They have touched their darkness and their light, and they use their darkness constructively to emit light. And this is a skill. No one is born with this skill of leadership. You earn it. And for all, and Luke and I are here to lead the leaders. We're here calling you out. Do you need more skills? We'll give them to you. Do you need to understand yourself? We'll help you understand yourself. Are you ready to be a leader? Then you're going to have to face your darkness and learn how to turn that pain into fuel consciously, constructively. And it's not, and you don't do it with ayahuasca ceremonies, you don't do it with psychedelics. It's a sober process. All this stuff about entheogens, what is an entheogen? It's psychoactive substance that shamans use. None of that's going to get you to where you want to go. That's all an illusion. That's all a form of sedation. Those substances that are being romanticized out there right now, that's sedating pain. You have to go through your darkness into your light. How many get that? It's a sober process.
Yeah, I do have my own perspective on that as well, Artemis. Like I've had some incredible experiences with all different kinds of modalities, and there are some plants out there that have really helped show me my darkness. But my actual biggest awakening in 2016 was completely sober. That was when I had unity consciousness, oneness consciousness, was totally sober in a quiet moment. But I have had benefit from so many different ways, and whatever your truth is, like there are so many different ways to get to this path of mastery.
Yeah.
And
With a
one of the first things to do is to figure out, do we have addictions holding us back? Do we have behaviors and habits that have been taught to us that don't serve us? This
right.
is where using Curate or hypnosis or whatever tool you have to literally rewire your brain and reprogram your nervous system. And sometimes on those psychoactive substances, it can be too much too soon for people. But there are a lot of plants out there as well that aren't psychoactive that can be very beneficial. So yeah, I think it's such an exciting time.
Yes, yes. Thank you for that perspective, Luke, because I'm not here to like place judgment on those substances. I just know that through sobriety and maintaining soberness on the path to leadership, you just get there faster. Not necessarily better, because there is no right or wrong in this conversation. With a compelling vision and a deep subconscious alignment with your vision, you will also be able to take on all the challenges life throws at you and climb the mountain you are choosing to climb with more confidence and poise. When you think about this, if you find yourself drifting, if you find yourself oscillating, if you start and stop, your goal is not big enough. You need to set a goal that's 5 years, 10 years out, and you need to make sure it's aligned with your talents and your vision. Because once that goal is big enough, you will make the climb. But how many of our quantum healers and practitioners are just in an eddy current, are just drifting? Because you haven't set the target and the target's not aligned. So some of you do have a big target, but you're dreaming someone else's dream. Don't worry, we can help you with that. Get back to your soul, your compass. And it's in wealth dynamics. It's in the laws of nature. It's in you. It's been inside you the whole time. No one ever showed you your superpower. And some of us have been clear on our superpower. We know who we are, we know why we're here, but we have these traumas inside. We have the shame, we have these blocks of public speaking. We don't feel worthy to go out and give our gift. Well, that's where quantum healing comes in. So every soul is on a slightly different journey of how it's going to break free of these limitations. And the vision, quantum life principle number 1 is so key, because if you have that mountain to climb, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll overcome the pain of rejection to get to the top of that mountain when it's clearly defined. Do y'all understand what I'm saying here? Like, this is a really important thing. Most of us are playing small because it's comfortable.
Yeah. Since launching Curate and teaching this modality to people, it's been amazing, Artemis, because people are like, one of my great clients, he's now a Curate master. We have a master practitioner training program similar to Reiki. He's actually on this call. If we give some love to Dennis. So he's been a hypnotherapist since the 1990s. And he came into Curate, and Curate now became one of his main tools that he used, because it cuts out a lot of the stuff that we don't need, and it gives you access to this vision of yourself in minutes, right? So instead of taking some Dennis, he's really good at, like, he can help you quit smoking in 30 minutes, like, done. You know, how many people spend months trying to do that? If you can help someone heal in 2 hours. So if you go to my YouTube channel, if you type in Luke Scott anxiety testimonial, we have to be a bit careful what we say on social media, but if you type that in, you'll see someone who had crippling anxiety, and then after one session, their anxiety is completely gone. You know, like, that is what's possible instead of spending years going around trying to cope with anxiety, because I've been through the mental health system myself, and you'll learn more about me as we progress. But most people are treating symptoms instead of actually clearing the thing at the root. And you all know this. I know I'm talking to the converted already. You know, people don't have to stay on pharmaceuticals for the rest of their life. We can actually help them to heal. But people are so short-sighted in that. And I can't tell you how many masters I know, like Reiki masters, hypnotherapy masters, who are struggling. One of them in particular, who's in my mind, she's one of the most powerful healers in the world. She works in a supermarket cleaning toilets because she hasn't yet figured out how to play to her full potential. And I know another powerful shaman who has the most incredible gifts, working in a coffee shop to pay his bills because he didn't figure out how to package up his gifts because he didn't know his genius and stuff. So we are here for you. We want you to be doing what you are amazing at. And that's starts with you believing that it's possible, having that vision. And if we can even get you from believing to knowing, because knowing is the level of mastery.
Absolutely. So welcome to part 2 of the Quantum Healers Conference. We're going to be introducing to you the Quantum Life Academy, the Quantum Life Method, a platform for leaders. We asked ourselves, what are the 7 essential dimensions of life that will build up all of our healers into master practitioners and leaders of our new healthcare system? Like Luke and I, we have a vision for 144 quantum healing centers, quantum healthcare as a mainstream medicine. And we asked ourselves, well, what's the plan? How are we going to do it? Because it's not enough just to know, we need to know how, and then we need to help you understand who you are as leaders. So in this way, our trained and skilled members of the QHA can now lead their communities and build quantum healing centers or whatever they dream up. You know what I mean? You know, in your divine plan, it may have nothing to do with the building. It may have to do with healing your family. And that's it. If that's all you're here to do is to resurrect the sins of your ancestors, that's good. Do that. Or maybe you're here to launch a business and it has nothing to do, but we also know a lot of you want a healing center too. So we're going to teach you how to do that. And what are the essential skills that you need to develop to turn what is invisible to the visible? Remember that creation happens twice, once on the visible and the second on the invisible, or excuse me, once on the invisible and the second on the visible. But how do we go from invisible to visible? How do we bring heaven to the earth? That's what this Quantum Life Academy is about. Luke.
And one of the ways that you can all do that, by the way, everyone, is by sharing information. So I had a client who has a disease. They had this particular disease where you need to inject yourself with insulin. You can figure out what that one is. And they said that they thought it was incurable. So I just asked in my group, has anyone ever helped someone cure this? And so many people said, yes, 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 yes. All I did was share information. So I'm going to share a piece of information with you now because this system already exists in other places. This is not new. My wife's from Pakistan, and in Pakistan, there's this foundation called the EDI Foundation, EDHI, and they have 350 healing centers in Pakistan where anybody can come. If you're homeless, if you're in domestic violence, you can even drop your babies off there if you can't care for your babies. They get them to a place where they are able to be healthy, happy, thriving, and they teach you and empower you. Like, this exists there already. So how fast can we build up 350 healing centers or 100 healing centers all over the world when we work together? Because someone on this call has the skills. Arttemis knows the architect. Someone else is the backer who has the finances and the investment. And when we all work together, everything's going to go so quick. They built 350 centers without using the internet, without using the skills that we have, and without using this quantum healing, because their centers that they use in the Edie Foundation, they don't use this same technology that we all have access to. So if you are thinking, oh, it's a pipe dream to build 100 healing centers, it's absolutely been done before. And this is the cool thing. So when you share with a client, hey, do you know someone has healed from this disease? Do you know someone has healed from that issue? Oh yeah, go look at Luke's anxiety testimonial. You know, it doesn't have to take years. They go, what? My doctor never told me that. So just by sharing information with each other, we can cut years out of someone's healing process. So please do be brave and bold to learn how to share your stories and your testimonies.
I love that story, Luke. It's already done in Pakistan, and we're here to just do it at a quantum level, at a level of the new Earth. You know, where we bring in that unified language and this unified skill set. So let's dive in and look at what's the map. How are we going to do this? How are we going to help you do this? Quantum life principle number 1 is vision. To have more, you need to become more and align with the clarity in your vision. It is better to be pulled by your vision instead of pushed by your problems. Quantum life principle number 2 is creativity. The highest form and function of the human soul is creativity. If your life is stuck at endless problem solving, there is very little creativity. In a purely creative life, there is no problem because your soul is in the driver's seat. Your soul is the source of life, creativity, and vision. We're going to teach you how to connect with that through languages of flow, through QRIT, through quantum life principles.
My 4-year-old daughter is a master of this. She even made a song about it. I just shared it on my social media a few weeks ago. She says, if you've got a problem, you've got to find a solution. She's 4 years old. That's her subconscious singing. Whenever you have a problem, just find a solution. There's an idea that there's no such thing as a lack of resources, just a lack of resourcefulness.
Right.
If you get creative, if you know how to ask the right people in the right way, you can get anything. There's a billionaire out there who will back you for sure. If you get in the right room with them and you learn how to pitch properly, like everything is available to you.
Absolutely. When you become more intrinsically creative, your life is like a new canvas every day and your soul becomes the painter. You start to create projects, products, and services at a much higher level of consciousness, way beyond just making money or fulfilling the need to prove yourself or be seen. And this is the power of flow. This is the power of understanding your zone of genius, of getting clear on your vision, your talents, and your purpose. You get out of the oscillating structure of the mind and you start creating from soul. Many of us haven't even touched that yet, but we'll teach you how to touch it and how to do it. You create products, systems, and communities to impact millions of lives. In order to do this without burning out or living in the hustle culture, you will need to know your zone of genius. You will need to understand your strengths and your weaknesses and learn how to build a team around you. Quantum life principle number 3 is genius and talents. So to know your superpower and lean into your zone of genius is one of the greatest gifts next to having great health. And I'm living proof of that because 90% of what I do every day is only what I love. And yeah, you're going to have meetings with spreadsheets. You're going to have to track the details, but you don't have to execute the details. If you're a Blaze genius, find someone to help you with the systems. If you're a systems detail, find you a Dynamo genius to give you the ideas. If you're a Tempo genius, don't lose sight of the vision. Make sure you have a system to track the vision and stay on target. Every genius has strengths and has weaknesses. And when you learn how to do this, you'll activate it and you'll build a team around you. And it's teamwork that makes the dream work. This is the Wealth Dynamics Square. So this will be on Flow Fridays. We also have some training programs on this, the Quantum Mastery of Flow training system. So you can just start to see this map. This is a map of the universe. So we have spring, summer, autumn, winter, what, who, when, how, and then why is the water element. In creation, water is the source of all flow, and water is the question why. So when you get connected to your vision and you start asking why better, then you take it into what, and then you go from what to who, and you bring the idea to the marketplace. You shine light, summer, fire element. I am a Blaze genius. I light up the room. Wherever room I go into, I light it up with fire element. And I'm here to take the idea to the people. But I'm not here to work all the processes, and I'm not here to build the websites or the funnels. I have a team for that now. When we take the idea of the marketplace and we have to slow down, we have to enter earth energy, which is autumn. Then we have to build processes. Projects create money flow, processes maintain money flow. And then we organize systems, CRMs, lead generation, lead incubation, lead conversion, to complete the cycle of creation from spring to winter. And we start the next spring, the next product. Everything you're doing in your life and business right now functions according to the laws of nature. And you have a zone of genius. You land somewhere on this map. It's your constitution. It's your value. Each one of you has value to give the marketplace, but you may not know it yet because you haven't learned your strengths and weaknesses specifically. You have a general idea, but you need to specifically know your genius and talents. You need to specifically know what to say no to, because then you lean into your strengths, you do more of what you love. And guess what? Flow comes before resources. When you're in flow, you create your own luck. When you're in flow, you become resourceful. When you're in flow, you can turn that pain into fuel easily. When you're in flow, critical moments happen in your business and you attract the right people, the right mentors, everything comes from flow. Your life and business is not about status or money or success. It's not about any of that. It's about the level of flow you're creating each day. Because that's when the soul is present. The language of the soul in the body is flow. And your level of creativity is so important. And this is the power of wealth dynamics when applied to you.
Yeah.
As you
And I
master,
found as well, Artemis, I
yeah,
found most people, their business planning, because I worked for a huge corporate company, so I could see we had 5-year goals, 3 years, 1 years, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily targets, to the hourly targets even, right? And it was constantly being reevaluated. And most people are working towards a business plan that is fundamentally flawed. Like whatever gets you to 5K per month, if you want to go to 50K per month, you need a different system. Right. And if I have a friend who helps people go from 7-figure businesses to 8-figure businesses. So they've already got $1 million company. They have to completely change their systems, their personality, their mindset to go to an 8-figure company. And this is one of the best things I've learned from Wealth Dynamics is when you figure out the best plan for you, flow will be so much more present. And so
yeah.
really invite you to come visit on the Flow Fridays and reevaluate what your current business plan is. Even if you're already at 10K months or 100K months, like if you want to go to your next level, reevaluate and see how you can optimize it even more.
Yeah, yeah. We told you we had a plan for conscious entrepreneurship in 144 countries, and it will be using the language of nature. It will be teaching our entrepreneurs to come back into harmony with nature and the laws of flow, the laws of wealth dynamics. As you master living from your zone of genius, you become more immune to overwhelm because you know exactly what to say no to. This is a key quantum life principle that we want all of our members to really master over the next year. Flow and peak states of creativity become more common every day, and you know your own path to wealth, purpose, and abundance, and the path is unique to you. You're not chasing some guru who's a steel genius who's teaching you how to build systems when you're a blaze genius. Don't do that. 87% of the business development programs are not for you. And you need to realize that right now in this conference, that you have a unique path to wealth and flow, and it's inside you, and it's inside wealth dynamics. Quantum life principle number 4. I can see some of you are like getting hungry. Tell me more, Arttemis. Tell me. No, come to the Facebook group. We'll go deeper dive into that stuff later. Quantum life principle number 4 is quantum health and vitality. To become healthy and vital is the greatest gift you can give yourself to serve your family, your community, and our new healthcare system. At the Quantum Life Academy, we also want to teach you to become whole and well in the body, because some of you have a chronic health challenge that you haven't healed yet and you need to become well. So we want to give you paths for that Luke and I have walked for decades. And that will take your quantum healing game, your leadership game, your business game to a whole new level, because some of you have been ignoring your body. You've been ignoring the laws of nature, and you need to pay attention through quantum health and vitality. All our quantum healing centers will become solar healing centers, and because light and consciousness is the source of all health and vitality. To lead this revolution, you will need to build new skills in health as well. So quantum life principle number 5 is skills. To create long-lasting impact as a leader, You will need essential skills on branding, marketing, systems, public speaking, and team. At the Quantum Life Academy, we're passionate about helping you skill up, for you to build a thriving family and business. Before building the necessary skills to succeed, you will need to have a clear vision, awareness of your talents, and understanding your purpose. Some of you watching this day have been building skills that are not aligned in your zone of genius. You should be delegating that. But you don't know your talents yet, so you need to explore who you are. Some of you may not be living in flow long enough to get connected to your purpose, and so you're trying to use stimulants or social media or gurus to motivate you. You should be self-motivated by understanding your purpose. You shouldn't be looking to other people for motivation. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you have all these things lined up, magic happens. Just magic. Make sure you're asking the right questions before you start building up a bunch of skills. Many get this wrong. So learn more about yourself first so you can climb up the right mountain and enjoy the fruits of your labors. Quantum life principle number 6 is wealth. True abundance and wealth is realizing that all you desire and require to achieve your dreams is right here, available to you now. Wealth is a state of mind and is the culmination of great vision, creativity, genius, radiant health. Wealth not just in your bank account, but wealth in your body too. Developing the right skills and then having the right team. Ancient Chinese proverb says that a man who has his health has 1,000 wishes. A man who does not have his health has one. Remember that.
Yeah, this has been a really cool part of both of our experience, hasn't it, Artemis? Because we've had financial success in other areas and brought that wealth of wisdom into our healing practices. Because so many healers are struggling healers. There's a statistic that 80% of coaches and healers make less than $20,000 a year. That's like less than minimum wage. That's most people. You don't have to put your hand up if that's you, because like you know where you're at, and you know if it's sustaining you or if you have worries and stress, and you know the impact of worries and stress. And most people are in survival mode, and we want to get you into thriving mode. That's what we wish for all of you over the next 12 months, to have you thriving so you're able to serve from overflow.
Yeah.
You're not trying to create things from scarcity. And you can create amazing art from scarcity. You know, a lot of great music is called forward by that need to create. But when you create from a place of peace and connection, my truth, those creations, they hit people so differently.
Yeah. Remember that your soul is already happy. Your soul is creative. Your soul lives here and now. And your soul is the point of focus where you focus your energy. And you could be pointing your soul to scarcity consciousness, or you could be pointing it to your talents and vision. So you're not a mind with a soul, you're a soul with a mind. And the soul is the creative force. And when we align with that pure creative force that's in the maps of creation, like in wealth dynamics, is the language of the soul and the body is flow, but also the language of the soul in your future is in your vision. And when you start coming into alignment, everything is magic and creation becomes effortless. You start moving from red level on the Wealth Lighthouse to orange level, and then from orange level to yellow level. And in Wealth Dynamics, we have a map and a GPS system. And in Flow Fridays, I'll bring more of the GPS system, because this is the soul evolving in wealth by where we put our focus and how we build more value and leverage. These are profound insights. I'm just opening doors of consciousness. Like I'm just opening files for you today. There's a lot for you to discover about these things. These quantum life principles are a journey, not a destination. There's something for you to explore in yourself. And there is a right way to do it in the right order that we're going to be revealing to you. The average human has more access to information, knowledge, and resources than a billionaire did a year ago. Remember that you are already wealthy with the money you have in your bank, the smartphone in your hands, and the access to resources you have today. Wealth is really what you have when all the money is gone. It's an understanding of vision, talents, genius, team, and flow. And even when the problem with most people in their money mindset is they're in a worker mindset. They're not thinking like an entrepreneur. So most people are a manager having an entrepreneurial seizure, like Michael Gerber says. You know, Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth, he developed the secret to creating wealth is to create something that doesn't require your time, to get out of the worker mindset. But 95% of us watching this are still living in a worker mindset. Well, we need to teach you wealth dynamics so you can get into a creator mindset, not a worker mindset. And you might have some traumas along the way. So Luke will give you curate, or our practitioners will give you curate to heal those traumas so you can step into a more powerful creator mindset. But here's the problem with wealth, guys, is that money is not energy. It's a measurement of value. And if you don't have enough money in your bank account, you're not giving enough value to the marketplace. And if you're living in scarcity, you're making the future better than what you have now. So it's a paradox, because if you live in a future, if you live in a present moment where the future will be better when I have more money. How many of us feel that way right now? The future is going to be better when I have more money. It'll be better when I can buy that car. It'll be better when I can take my kids on a vacation. It'll be better when I can pay for that certification course. It'll be better when. If you're making the future better than what you have now, and we don't teach you these life principles, guess what happens? You go make a bunch of money with our training and you're still not satisfied. Because if you make the future better than what you have now, when you get there, you still won't be satisfied. Your soul is so wealthy beyond imagination. You all have so much wealth right now, and we're here to wake you up to it. It's here, guys. Welcome to the golden age of Earth. We're here to build it, and we already have all the resources we need to do it right here and right now. Many of us need to stand.
Especially when we collaborate, Artemis.
Yes, in collaboration.
Especially when you collaborate. Most of your problems right now are because you're trying to do everything by yourself. That's my truth for most people. When you find the people who have the resources that you need, or the knowledge that you need, or whatever skills you perceive that you don't have, when you get the right team around you, next level. And I wish that for all of you over the coming months. Absolutely. That you get to feel what that feels like, to be fully supported physically and energetically, because we're talking about the human support, but we also know energetically how supported we are by this beautiful cosmos that we live in.
Yeah. And be careful who you collaborate with. Be careful which people you choose to mentor with, which people you choose to hire on your team, because everyone has different value structures, different talents, and different visions. So I made a lot of mistakes early in my business development where I was partnering with people who value things differently than I did, and the business just dissolved. Luke has also had this experience, where you took business partners who didn't have an aligned vision, who didn't understand wealth dynamics, who didn't understand you, and who maybe just wasn't a good person to partner with, but everything felt good in the moment. You might even gotten a channeled reading or a quantum curate session, said, yeah, go work with that guy, but you didn't have self-awareness. You didn't understand your vision, your talents, your skills, and your values, what you value. And so make sure that before you choose that partner, that you have that come to Jesus meeting and you get clear on the vision, the talents, and the genius. And it's not 99% of the people that want to partner with you are not a match. So be careful about who you collaborate with. That self-awareness is such an important part, which is why we're launching the QHA and teaching you these principles. And many of us need to stand for the wealth we already have and create from the abundance and resources that are already available to us. Creating wealth can be easy when you have alignment with your vision, knowledge of your talents, and mastery of flow. As you begin to build wealth, accessing the resources all around you, you will need a tribe to celebrate and spread the good news. So the quantum life principle number 7 is tribe and community. That's why we're here at the QHA. We're here to bring you the proximity, which is power. Being around experts in their craft can save you 10 years or more. The rising tide raises all ships, the Quantum Healers Alliance. We are here to collaborate with each other on Social Sundays. We're here to share your projects. On Social Sundays, when we launch those in a couple of weeks, we want you to come and attend and contribute. Please share this Quantum Healers Conference with those you know that need these insights, because we're all a rising tide that's raising the healthcare system. The rare people in your life who root for you to hit your goals and targets are more valuable than the goals themselves. Alex Hormozy, how many get that? We need people rooting for us. Who's rooting for you, though? Are you being recognized by your peers and rising up into your greatness? We need to come together and recognize each other. When you succeed, when you do that launch, when you come to our masterminds, when you come to our workshops and live events that we're going to be hosting next year, you need to be recognized. Otherwise, you're just isolated. So we got to have tribe and community to help us all grow through the art of giving and receiving recognition. This is a very important thing that's missing in a lot of our lives that Luke and I want to create in the Quantum Healers Alliance, is recognition.
And start thinking about if you build a quantum healing hub in your city and you all get together in person and you actually support each other. And when you share an event, everyone shares it. You know, someone has a mailing list right now with 100,000 people on it. And if you connect with them and they share your event out and your launch now is a guaranteed success, this is what one of my great mentors, Wayne Dyer, did. He would actually publish people's books for them. They were a guaranteed bestseller before it was even launched because he had that resource and he believed in people. And we want to know what your truth is and see how we can support you. It's my absolute greatest honor when one of my students comes and I can put them, I interview people on my podcast, I share about their stuff with my audience. I'm really good at building up social media followings. And I would love for my audience to get to know you and for yours to get to know me, because everyone's attracted to different people, right? There's no competition here. It's all about collaboration. Some people are aligned to work with Artemis and some people are aligned to work with you. And when we surrender to that and encourage it, live in true abundance, everything would change in our world. How much of the problems in our world right now are due to scarcity, people hoarding? There are trillionaires on our planet while millions of people starve every year. Like,
Right.
it's an insane system, and we're here to shake the whole thing up. So thank you for being a part of it.
Yeah, core values of the QHA are spirituality. God is at our center. Contribution, inspiration, support, transformation, community, and grace. At the QHA, we're here to usher in a new age of quantum healing arts, regenerative medicine, and quantum healing centers in 144 countries. How many are ready? How many are ready to bring in a new system of healthcare and step up and lead, to be leaders? All of this will be built on the founding values of the QHA and the 7 key principles of the Quantum Life Academy. We will build quantum healing centers in 144 countries through collaboration, like Luke is teaching us, through understanding that we're all cells of a greater organism in the consciousness of the Creator. And we hear the calling of our souls, and now we're ready to rise and come together. As leaders of the QHA, one of the most important roles is to help you become whole, healthy, vital, and to lead with love, power, and wisdom in perfect balanced action. Our quantum healing centers will be based on the guiding language of biological architecture with my dear friend Michael Rice, natural organic building materials, energy efficiency, community design, and feedback, and solar healing technologies. This is one of my great teachers, Victor Schoberger, and he was an Austrian forester. And Victor Schoberger discovered the power of the vortex and vortexing water systems and the nature of how water flows in nature. And he used a lot of those vortexing systems to build some of the early UFOs and flying saucers that were captured by the government. His understanding, he was like a Nikola Tesla from Austria. And his great principle that all of our principles are founded on is observe nature, comprehend nature, and copy nature. Michael Rice is one of our visionary architects that heals through sacred geometry, beauty, form, and function in architecture. This is also based in the ancient Indian principles of Vastu Shastra. Vastu is the form of feng shui in India, and it's also based on sacred geometry, solar energies, lunar energies, the topography, the geography, and the alignment of the form and the function of the building to express its full potential for its function to the community and its function for the planet. So I have extensive training and background in this. It's a little bit of a rabbit hole. I don't recommend any of you go down it now. Leave it to people like me. But it's part of the Quantum Healers Alliance. This language of wealth dynamics, bioarchitecture, sacred geometry, and quantum physics. They all come together through the form and function of our buildings. Michael is one of the most skilled and accomplished in his craft in the world. The future of quantum healing centers is here. Many of these are already built on the planet. You just didn't know about it until today. So let's look at some of the innovative designs that we see and visualize in the UK, in Austin, Texas, in your neighborhood. And you can visit Michael's website, http://zim.designs. Some beautiful expressions of the living spiral, the golden mean ratio, as it's expressed in form and function in buildings. And this is one of my favorite designs here. This one is very Vastu compliant too, because when the water is northeast facing, you access the energies of the creation and you bring that creation through water. Water represents prosperity and flow. And so this is a very good Vastu healing center that we could build somewhere. There's another example of living curvation and sacred geometry. This would be a 2 or 3 story center. Community centers, hospitals, office buildings, many different ways you can apply bioarchitecture. And it's not just about the spiral, it's also about shape, symmetry, and proportion, because you can have a lot of right angles and you can still create living curvation and you can still harness the power of implosion and bring quantum energies from the universal source into the physical source through the shape, symmetry, and proportion, not just its curvation. The QHA is dedicated to uniting over 1 million quantum practitioners, families, and community leaders. From seasoned experts all the way to beginners, we are building a diverse community while fostering an empowering environment for our practitioners to heal and thrive at all levels of life. Thank you for being here today. This is the completion of our conference. Visit us on Facebook, type in Quantum Healers Alliance. So you can plug into some of our Meditation Mondays, Flow Fridays. Benefits of being in our tribe is, of course, our free classes and getting access to some of the quantum life methods that we're going to be teaching later on. Thank you all for being here. We celebrate you. We celebrate the QHA. This is the inaugural first launch of the QHA. Questions, comments, or observations?
Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. And if you have ideas, please message us, comment in the group. There's a special chat inside the Facebook group where you can share and talk and we can swap ideas. And you never know if the idea you plant, you might not even make it happen. You plant that seed in someone's consciousness and they make it happen. And he's an interesting figure, but he was a visionary. He's called Tupac. He's a rapper. And he said, I might not be the person who changes the world, but I'll be the person who inspires the brain of the person that changes the world. And, you know, it's like, you don't even have to you just do a session with someone. Imagine you do a session with a billionaire or you do a session with the leader of the United States. You get to do a session with someone like that and what impact that then has. You know, when we all actually raise the consciousness of the leaders and the CEOs and the people in our communities and the children, it's phenomenal. So thank you so much. And yeah, Arttemis, if you want to end the